Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar today. So my name is Jasmine and I will be the host of our webinar today. So before we moving forward, I would like to give a quick disclaimer that this session is recorded, and by participating, you give your consent to being recorded. If you would like to learn more about Microsoft privacy statement, we have this link here for your reference. With that being said, a really warm welcome to you guys to our very first webinar, Introduction to the Hackathon. So I hope you guys are staying safe and sound. I know in many countries we are under lockdown, and I am very grateful that you are taking your time to join the webinar and joining our hackathon, using your technology skill for social impact. So really thank you and a warm welcome to our webinar today. So we are organizing this virtual hackathon to bring together artificial intelligence and machine learning enthusiasts, talented developers, designers, and entrepreneurs to solve real-world business challenges from APAC region using Azure AI. And in this hackathon, we are very lucky to have 2 partner challenges. And it is our goal for you, the participants, to use Azure technology to create something innovative and transformative. So let me introduce to you our hackathon partners. So first, this hackathon is powered by Angel Hack. That is my company. We are an innovation management company that is based in San Francisco, and we have been empowering code creator communities since 2013. This hackathon is sponsored by Microsoft Azure, and they will share you a lot more about the technology in a little bit. And we're also very blessed to have 2 challenge partners. The first one is Grab. If you live in Southeast Asia like myself, Grab is a very familiar name. I use Grab on a daily basis. So Grab is a Singapore-based technology company that offers ride-hailing services, food delivery, and payment solutions. The second challenge partner we have is the United Nations Development Program, the Global Center for Technology, Innovation, and Sustainable Development in Singapore. Really welcome all these partners on board to make this hackathon happen. Let me walk you through the webinar agenda for today. So we will start with learning more about the challenges. What does the challenge entail? So we have the representative from Grab and UNDP to share with you a lot more about the challenge statement. Then we will go through the rules, the schedule, the prizes, of course, very exciting part, right? And I can promise you we have really good prize for you. Judging criteria, hackathon frequently asked questions, introduction to the technology, the Microsoft Azure technology, and last but not least, Q&A for any of your questions to be answered. So are you ready to kickstart our webinar today? So first, I am very excited to introduce Annie. She's the Director of Developer Relations of APAC from the Microsoft team. Annie is here to share with us a little bit more about the competition and the vision behind. So let's please join me in welcoming Annie.
Thanks, Jasmine. I'm so pleased to be part of this team and bringing you this hackathon to solve some challenges on Azure. So from Microsoft, it is our mission to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And developers are such a crucial part of building nations, building economy, businesses, and even just self-productivity. We're living in strange times today, and we thought, how can we help nations to build the future that they need to? And it's exactly towards that aim that we have this hackathon coming to you. It's about getting future ready. And one of the first steps that developers would look to when you think about the future is that, okay, nations are looking at economic stimulus. What are the automations, cost reductions, etc., that can be done supply chains that can be optimized, etc. And in that situation, people turn to developers and technology to bring in those efficiencies in the system and maybe innovations that are going to transform the way we do business. Definitely tomorrow is going to be a different way of living, working, and being than what it is today. So as a first step towards getting our developers ready to build the future of tomorrow, here is the Microsoft AI Virtual Hackathon. Very pleased to have Grab and UNDP as partners who have brought industry relevant challenges, huge challenges that takes a whole lot of skills from you developers to really solve it. So with that, wishing every one of you good luck and may you have a happy hacking time. Let me introduce our next speaker, Victor Liang. He's a senior data science manager from Grab. He will talk a little bit about the Grab challenge and what he is looking forward to seeing from you. Jasmine, can you move to UNDP slides?
Yes, of course.
We'll come back to Grab slides.
Yes, no problem. Thank you guys for your patience. And now we're moving on to the UNDP slide.
Let me invite Armen Haritunyan, Senior Advisor, Sustainable Digital Agriculture, UNDP, to talk a little bit about the challenge. Over to you, Armen.
Thank you. Do you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, my name is Armen. I'm managing digital and sustainable agriculture at the UNDP Global Center. And the Global Center idea is to transfer technologies, digital and technological and innovative solutions from developed to developing countries. And this challenge statement comes from our idea to bringing partners, linking partners, and working together to achieve a more sustainable and more technological and efficient, but also resilient food systems. Obviously, the emergencies that we're facing at the moment and things that we need to consider for the future would require more technology and innovative solutions to address. With this particular challenge statement that we've been working with the government of Singapore, we have decided to look at what is the potential of utilizing technologies to address the needs of self-sufficiency and improving the state of the food security in Singapore. So Singapore has announced an ambitious target 30 by 30 to increase its self-sufficiency level. And obviously, when you look at the situation in Singapore, we should look in particular how urban and in-house agriculture solutions can address these needs and can help government of Singapore to improve the food security level. So the challenge statement, to sum up, is to try to come up with an innovative ways of growing and consuming, but particularly concentrating on the in-house vertical and urban agriculture solutions by utilizing roofs, utilizing undergrounds, and any other facility that can be used for the fresh and efficient production of food. I think that's all I wanted to communicate on behalf of the UNDP Global Center.
All right, thank you so much for introducing the UNDP challenge. And now moving on, I would like to walk us through the hackathon rules. The rules are very simple. The first one, teams of up to 5 participants are allowed, and all the team's members must have completed the participant agreement to compete. The second one is about the geography limitation of this hackathon. So the competition is open to the participants who are 18 years old or older and must be currently residing in Singapore, Korea, New Zealand, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, the Philippines, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Cambodia, Myanmar, Laos, Bangladesh, Maldives, Nepal, or Brunei. The third one, you may not begin your project until the competition officially begins. And the last but not least, winning teams will be subject to a code review at some point following the winning or immediately before winning. This is our hackathon schedule. So the competition is broken down into two main phases. Phase number one is solutions ideas. Is from the competition will start on April 17, which is in 2 days, and it will last for 1 month. We will finish our submission for phase number one on May 17. May 17, please note it down in your notebook so we don't miss this deadline. We really love to hear your solutions. So for phase one, we will have participants to submit your solution design. So we also have a template for you guys to follow when you submit your solutions. We would love to hear what ideas you have to solve the two challenges we have from GRAB and UNDP. After that, we have a period of judging where the judges will narrow down solutions to move on forward to phase number two. We have another webinar number 2 to be announced. Stay tuned for more updates. And then we are going to phase 2, prototype, which will be from May 25th to June 14th. So in phase 2, you will create the prototype of your designs. And then we have another judging round from June 15 to June 26. And then we will select the winners of each challenge. Here's a very exciting part, hackathon prizes. So from Microsoft Azure, Microsoft is giving out $3,000 in cash for the winning team of each challenge. From GRAB, our challenge partner, GRAB is giving Surface tablets for all members of the first prize winning team. And there's more. Eligible candidates will be selected for an interview opportunity with the data science team. Wow. And now we also have the prizes from the UNDP team. So the UNDP is rewarding a grant to visit Singapore and an opportunity to meet key partners working on the LIFE project. And you will be also invited to UNDP flagship event in Singapore. Wow, so this is a fully paid trip to Singapore. Amazing, right? So really thankful to Microsoft, GRAB, and UNDP for sponsoring really great prize for us to be motivated to tackle the challenge. Thank you.
And may I invite Sudhir to run through the GRAB challenge? I'm sure everybody is waiting to see a little bit more detail about GRAB challenge.
Sure. Thanks, Annie. So the challenge that we got from our partner GRAB is the trip time estimation. So as Jasmine mentioned earlier, GRAB is a Southeast Asia's leading ride-sharing company, and there are millions of passengers, who use their services, and they make sure their passengers safely, reach their destination and try to, make them reach on time. So the estimated time of travel on the way, towards pickup or destination play a very crucial role, right? So think about you are using a Grab and you're using the app, and then you order a cab, and then instead of waiting, how about if it tells you exactly how exact time in minutes or maybe in a seconds, tells you when your taxi is going to be at your source, and also exactly tells you, with high accuracy at what time you're going to be reached to your destination, considering various factors that you're going to encounter on the ground, right? So that's the whole idea over here, to build on a machine learning model model, which basically gonna predict the expected time of travel. So that's the problem, and these are the attributes which will be there in the available data sets, which provided by the graph. Jasmine, can you move? Sure, thank you. So this is the data sets that is going to provide by the graph, and we're going to share the link of that with you guys so that you can actually go ahead and download and look into the various attributes that have been given over there. Jasmine, can you move to the next slide? So these are the attributes, and I'm sure it's there mentioned in their website as well. So these are the key attribute which you can see, the trajectory IDs, what kind of vehicle it is, then OS of the ping region, which is either iOS or the Android, latitude, longitude, the timestamp, the accuracy, your bearing reading, and as well as the speed at which the vehicle is traveling, right? Can you move on to the next? And this is the model evaluation that we're gonna use it. Ultimately, at the end, we are looking for the RMSC, which will be used as a metric to evaluate the error of predictions from the actual travel time. And a model which has the lowest RMSE will be considered as a performing the best, right? So keep in mind that's going to be the key metrics and the key target for you to achieve when you're building your machine learning model. Jasmine, can you move to the next? Right. So I think if you're working in the data science world, it is very useful for you to first look into the data. On the framework that you're working on, explore the data as much as you can to understand the various attributes and how the one attribute is impacting on the models and so on and so forth. Jasmine, can you move on to the next? And probably there might be some external data. If you think you want to add that, I think it should be okay to add that. So for example, your weather data, which also gonna impact your travel time, and as well as traffic updates as well. Jasmine, can we move on to the next slide? Thank you. And I don't think so I need to tell you about this, because if you're working in the data science world, you already know that you're gonna pre-process your data. There might be some attributes or some cleaning tasks or maybe some activities you want to perform on the data before you're gonna bring in onto the machine learning world, and as well as split your data sets in a training and test to basically figure it out how accurate your model is. Jasmine, can you move to the next slide? And it's all about your ideas, bringing the speech or the data points into the machine learning, and how you can actually get the better RMSE to basically help grab to figure it out, better accuracy of the time for the passengers. And try to make it as real as possible. As Jasmine already mentioned you that in the first phase, we're probably going to look for your design, how it's going to look like. So it has to be realistic. Don't try to make any kind of some assumptions. So be realistic. That's what we recommend you, even in the designing phase. Jasmine, yeah, and these are some of the FAQs. You can go through to it. I think the slides will be shared with you, where the video will be with you, and you can go through this FAQs. Any questions? Jasmine, do we have? All right, I think that's all on the graphs challenge.
Great. Thank you so much, Sudhir. And now I think this is another part of yours where we're moving on into introducing about the technology.
Okay, cool. All right. So these are, when you look into the problems, right, you need to basically gonna use some platforms or some technology, some infrastructures, to build your machine learning models, train them, pre-train them, and so on and so forth, right? So that's where Azure is going to help you. So now you have a problem, now you have a infrastructure, technologies, and the various options available. And you're going to combine these two to come out and help our partners, UNDP and GRAP, to achieve what they are looking forward, right? To start off, these are some guiding principles which basically enable us as a Microsoft to fulfill the mission which Annie mentioning about empowering every developers and every organization to achieve more and harness the potential of AI, right? So we basically help boost the productivity of developers and data scientists and empower them to build AI solution faster. So it really doesn't matter in which platform that you are working on, be it's in a Python, be you're working on Azure Machine Learning Studio, you're working on R, or you're working any Python programming language, and you said, hey, I don't have understanding of machine learning, but then can I use some of the AI capabilities without learning the nuances of machine learning? You can actually go and do that as well with the Azure AI platform, right? We enable these AI solutions which you build to be deployed at scale alongside existing system and processes. So it's really built for the enterprises. Behind the scenes, the infrastructure that we provide, it's huge in terms of either you need CPU, you need GPU machines or FFGA machines you need. You will get it on Azure. And last but not the least, we ensure organization can build with the full confidence, knowing that they can own and control the data on the platform that adheres to some of the industry's stricted privacy standards and has most comprehensive compliance portfolio of any cloud providers, right? So at the end of the day, it's your data, you control your data. Microsoft has a strict data privacy rules and policies in place, which basically assures you that your data will not be shared or seen by any other persons. Jasmine, can we move on to the next slide, please? Thank you. So there are three ways, if you look on the Azure AI platform. We have Azure AI apps and agents, knowledge mining and machine learning. Now, AI apps and agents, we have certain cognitive services, which I'm gonna showcase you in the next slide. And the agents is our bot framework, which basically helps you to be an interface between the user and the AI services behind the scenes and serve as a layer, which basically helps the users to get the answer at the right time, at the right speed, right? But agents, you can think of it's just in a programming language. It just doesn't have any kind of a intelligence. And that's where the Azure Cognitive Services come into the picture. Jasmine, can you move on to the next slide, please? Thank you. So what is Azure Cognitive Services? These are the pre-trained AI models that are available on Azure. So if you're, let's say, a developer and doesn't know how you're going to use text to speech or speech to text solution in your application. So what you can do is you can leverage these AI based API based AI services, and you can actually go ahead and send your text to the cloud and get the speech out of it, right? Or vice versa if you want. And similarly, we have the APIs for making a decisions, vision, language. If you want to do web search, with the API approach, you can actually go and do that. So the whole point is over here, as a developer, you don't need to understand how you're going to build the model, how you're going to train the data, from where you're going to get the data sets. You don't have to be worried about it. Just go ahead and spin up your service. It gives you endpoint and just go ahead and embed in your application, right? So that's the one set of an audience that we provide the platform. Now, if I move on to the next slide, Jasmine, can you move on to the next slide, please? Then we have the other services on the knowledge mining, right? May not be relevant for this challenge, but this is good to know that you have information available in various formats, in a doc file, maybe in a video, in images. And what you want to do is you want to actually extract out the various information from these documents, right? Not only a particular string, but then exactly where that string is available in that particular document, right? So that's where the knowledge mining with the Azure Search can help you. What you can do is you can actually ingest all your documents and build an Azure Search on top of it, right? And once you're done with that, it's going to take some time to build the knowledge mining behind the scenes for you and then make it available as an API. So now what you can do is once you have this data available, then the user can just simply ask their questions. So example, hey, when did we process our financial report, right? So this question will go back into the system, and it basically going to do the search on all the documents that you provided, and then it basically come back with the relevant answers to you, right? So then you don't have to be building the entire knowledge mining machine learning models yourself. You can actually just go ahead and leverage the services which is already available. Jasmine, can you move to the next slide, please? Thank you. So now, let's say you said, okay, that's fine. I mean, but what about the persona in an organization who have experience about machine learning, right? So these are the 5 parts of our machine learning portfolios. So as we talk about pre-trained AI models, which we covered in the cognitive services, right? You have vision, speech, language, web search, decision APIs available. You can just go ahead and spin up and go ahead and access. Then we have the data science tools, which basically help you to use the tools which you are already familiar, maybe Visual Studio Code, Azure Notebooks, or maybe you write your Python code in Jupyter Notebooks. So all these IDEs are available onto the cloud. Then we support popular framework. If you are working on PyTorch, TensorFlow, Scikit-learn, it's all available. And as I mentioned initially, that you don't have to learn new language. So whatever framework that you're working on, you can continue working on that. And then we have ONNX, which is an open format built to represent machine learning models, right? And there are key benefits that you get if you're going to use the ONNX framework, which is interoperability and as well as the hardware access. Then we have productive services to empower the data science in the development teams. So we have Azure Machine Learning workspaces, and we have something called AutoML SDK. So if you're working on the data science world, you know that building a machine learning model and training them over and again, because you might not get accuracy at the first time that you're looking for. You don't have to manually, retraining your model with a different set of parameters and different algorithms. So what you can do is you can leverage the AutoML SDKs in the Azure Machine Learning workspace and let the machine learning do the job behind the scenes for you in a parallel manner, so that it can give you the result back with the model with the good accuracy, right? Then if you're working on the Databricks or any other third-party tools or technologies in the open source world, you can actually go and use the machine learning VMs. So these are the VMs which already have all the packages and popular framework installed in it. So you don't have to be wasting your time in configuring those machines. And then behind the scenes to train or retrain your model, we have the various infrastructure. We have CPUs and GPU machines, but then on top of the CPU and GPUs, we also have FFGA, which is Azure at this point of time, I believe, is the only cloud which has this powerful FFGA for ultra low latency inferencing technique, right? So you can access powerful FFGA from Azure Machine Learning, just like you do for your CPUs and GPUs for high-speed image classification and recognition scenarios, right? And our deployment options span cloud on premises and as well as even on the edge. So either you want to do all the processing and predictions onto the cloud or onto the edge, you have it on Azure. So with that, I think I'm done. Over to you, Jasmine. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And Sudhir, would you also like to walk us through the judging criteria?
Sure. So what we're looking for is, the feasibility of the solutions, right? And as I mentioned earlier, we are not looking for a solution which doesn't have any kind of feasibilities, or you just make it on a piece of paper, right? So we are really looking for the feasibility of solutions and the possibilities. How best you can use the Azure services, be you're using the APIs, be you're using any of the platforms that I've walked you through. We are also looking how your solution architecture is going to look like with the Azure services, right? You probably can use other services, be it a storage, or maybe you may want to use some of the reporting services, just to showcase the outcome. You are feel free to use the Azure services to basically, showcase that, hey, this is the architecture we're going to target, right? The complexity of the implementations, right? I mean, whether the deployment of the solutions, when you deploy the model, how are we going to retrain the model? How are we going to redeploy the model, right? So how are you going to deal the complexity in terms of the implementation and the development? We're going to look into that. And last but not the least, because there are a lot of information available on the net already, we are looking some great and some original ideas from this hack. So these are various steps on which we basically gonna evaluate your proposals, and each step has 5 points. So yeah, focus on these points when you're designing your solutions.
Great.
Over to you, Jasmine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sudhir, for a very clear presentation. Thank you so much. Moving on, I would like to walk us through the hackathon frequently asked questions very quickly before we're moving on to the Q&A. I know you have been sending a lot of questions, and we want to make sure to have enough time to answer all of your questions. So the first FAQ, who can participate? Individuals who are 18 plus and currently residing in Singapore, Korea, New Zealand, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, the Philippines, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Cambodia, Myanmar, Laos, Bangladesh, Maldives, Nepal, or Brunei. How are teams formed? So after you sign up, you will receive a link to our Microsoft Team channel where you can chat with other participants, ask questions with the mentors, and also this is a place that you can find other teams members to form teams. How will my project be judged? Your project will be submitted and judged to a Typeform submission form. So we will send you the template, and then you will submit your solution in phase number 1 in this template through Typeform. What is the fresh code rule? All code developed as part of Microsoft Azure Virtual Hackathon must be fresh. So that means that before the start of this hackathon, developer, you can create wireframe, designs, and user flows you can also coming up with ideas. But just to give things to be fair, right? All code must be written on site at the Microsoft Azure Virtual Hackathon. And we have about a month for you guys to do so, which is also ample of time for you to come up with the solution for phase 1. And now we have time for Q&A. So we saw that you have sent us a lot of questions. So we want to make sure to address those. Yes. Yes, so I will choose the questions based on the number of votes. So the questions with more vote, then we will prioritize to answer first, okay? Yes, so the first one would be, I would love to invite Shuganyi to answer. So the participant asked, will the Microsoft Azure service be made free for participants during the competition phase?
Azure credits are available for free. In phase 2, you will find the link to get access to that. You can also just Google for Azure credit for developers and find that. If you have an MSDN subscription, then you have Azure credits free there. So there are many avenues. We'll post a link in the resources website,
Great, thank you, Annie. Another question with 5 votes. How do we form teams? How do we form the group? So regarding team forming, once you sign up for the competition, we will send you a link invitation to a Teams channel. So this is a Microsoft platform where you can meet other participants and connect with them and form team on that platform. Another question from Kenneth. Are you looking for a production code API or just a reproducible notebook for the target metric?
Yeah, so I think I can answer the questions for Kenneth. Thank you so much for your questions. I think for the phase 1, we are not really look at the actual output from models. It will be good, like you can design your architectures and have the solutions, but also if good, you can propose some matrix. If you have already tested, at least you prove your proposed framework works. But I think in the second phase will be nice. You can submit a model and we can test on our side for using the test data set. So we can clearly know like how the performance of a model. Because anyway, this is a data challenges, so will be good to have a trained model and we can test on the real data set.
Wonderful, thank you so much. The next question we have, I saw many people are voting. Hi, will all this slide be provided? And we just want to make sure for you to know that, yes, we will share with you all this slide and also the recording of this webinar right after this webinar. So we want to make sure that you have all the materials you need to be successful in this competition. So it's 100% yes. There's another question here. What is the minimum number of members per team? So in our rulebook, we said that team have maximum number of 5 members. So we don't set a minimum base here. Is this possible to register as individual? Yes, so this connects to the answer I just answered to you, that we don't set a minimum base, so you can. Miller from Sense Agro. We are an existing agro tech startup. Is there any restriction for that? I would like to invite Annie. Do you have any thoughts on this?
No, if you are participating as developers, not as a startup, that is fine. If you are part of a startup, that's okay.
Thank you. Another question, when will the templates and data will be opened? So the template, the submission template will be sent to you very soon, within when the competition starts in 2 days. Plus the data set, we already have it ready to launch when the competition starts as well. Another person asked, when is the deadline for registering as a group? So we will keep our registration deadline open until we finish with phase number 1. So you can continue to register as individuals or as team until phase 1 closes, which will be in mid-May. Another questions, do you provide Azure subscription to modeling? I know, Annie, you mentioned this briefly already, but would you mind just reinstate your answer?
You have access to what's available free credits. We don't provide anything over and above that.
Yes. Another question that our team member already answered, but I just want to bring it up here. From JMG, can multiple entry be submitted for both categories? And the answer is each team can submit 1 submission per challenge. So you can join both challenge from UNDP and from Grab, but for each challenge, you can only give 1 submission. And yes, once again, the webinar is recorded and you will have access to this recording right after this webinar. Wonderful. So I think we have answered pretty much all of the questions asked in the chat box. Our team members have been also answered to you directly to your questions. So just to reaffirm again, our competition will officially start in 2 days, which is on April 17. We're really looking forward to your submissions and hearing about all the ideas you have for these real world business challenges. We will follow up with you with this recording the template submission, the submission template, and also an invitation to the Teams channel for you to form teams and to ask mentor any questions you have. Just a quick note, we will take some time to edit this recording before we can make it live to you guys, but we will make sure to get it done as soon as possible so you can re-listen or do what you need to do at your own time. So with that, let me check one more time if we have any more questions from you. Yes, Shishia Ganjurel said that please provide the templates also. Yes, we will make sure to do that. Sasindu asked that should we have to create a channel in Microsoft Teams to form teams? And the answer, Harish, from our team already answered, no, there's already a channel. We will send you an invitation as you register for the competition so that you can join. Edward asked that, is the competition open for the new developers and data scientists? The answer is 100% yes. We encourage you to take the chance and to be creative and come up with the solutions. Because phase number 1, we are looking for ideas, architecture, so that as long as you have a new idea, how would you tackle the challenge from Grab and UNDP, your idea is very welcome. So I would highly encourage you to submit the solution to us. And yes, you can still invite your friends to form a team. So as I mentioned again, our competition will still be open for registrations until the day that phase number 1 closes, which is in mid-May. So you will still have time to form teams. So bring your friends, bring your developers, bring your entrepreneurs, and come together, form teams, and submit the project for our competition. Yes, you still have time. Yes, so with that, I think we have addressed all of the questions you guys have. Oh, let someone anonymous say that. Thank you so much for this beautiful session. Thank you so much for your time as well. And another person, Sergio, said that we're all participation get participation certificate. So this is something that we can coordinate with our team and can get back to you. Yes. Okay, more questions, still more questions. Yes, thank you for all your enthusiasm for the competition. Is it open for those who are not residents but working in the shortlisted countries? So with these questions, I would like to ask Annie or Shuganyi, what do you think?
If they're usually a resident of APAC, but because of the COVID situation, you are currently not in APAC, then I think that is all right.
Right, I think they are asking about they are not the residents, but they are still working in those shortlisted countries in APAC.
We'll publish that on the website. It's an interesting scenario. We'll publish that on the website.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Wonderful. So, yes. So I think that's it for our today webinar. We used to have about 90 attendees joining our webinar today. So I am really grateful and thank you so much for taking your time and just being here and staying tuned to the webinar. I am really excited and looking forward to receiving your submissions to our 2 real-world challenges. We really need your creativity and collaboration to solve these challenges. So I encourage you to let's keep it up and submit your solutions to us. We are really keen on hearing your solutions. And once again, thank you so much. I hope you stay healthy and happy at home and take this time during lockdown to create. Thank you very much. So we will end our live session here and just get in touch with us if you have any questions. And once again, we're really looking forward to hearing your ideas and your solutions. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night.